Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video with me. If you're new here, I've got a very noisy baby. No, if you're new here, my name is Amy. I have been on a weight loss journey for the last couple of years and I have lost 60 pounds following the Starch Solution and using the principles of calorie density. I want to show you everything I'm eating every single day so you can see what it looks like to make choices in the moment, to form habits over time, to put weight loss plates together that keep you full and satisfied for the long haul, to make weight loss basically effortless. Anyway, I want to show you obviously what I'm eating today. Today is the first day back after Christmas that I don't have my little boy with me here today, and it feels really, really weird. It feels like an empty nest, although I do have Romy who's doing her regular squeaking as usual. But it's just so strange to not have Abe here. It just like completely changes the day, and I do miss him dearly, although it is much more quiet. Obviously I'm just having, so it's about 12 o'clock. As usual, when Abe goes to school, as soon as I drop him off, Romy's knackered, so she just had a massive long sleep, got loads of work done, haven't been hungry at all. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I ate loads for dinner. Did I? I don't even know what I had for dinner. Anyhow, you want to sit there, do you, Romlet? Come on then, let's go join Romy. Anyway, my point is, I've been up for ages. I've been doing loads of stuff, and Romy just wants to play with her little, we're doing a little bit of jigsaw over here. Come here. There you go, Romy. Yes, anyway, I'm not actually hungry, but I have already had loads of water and a cup of tea. Biscuit tea. I feel like I ought to be endorsed by Biscuit Tea. That would be amazing. If they're interested, come and find me, guys. I'll drink it all day long. Anyway, so I'm just having my, oh, that's a lovely flower. Yes, so we've got a very busy day today. I've done loads of work, smashed that. I think I've got cocoa powder. I was just making some chocolate cake and then I realised I had cocoa powder all under my eye and it looked like I'd been viciously beaten. Romy still got it all around her face. Mwah. Anyway, so obviously we are having chocolate cake. You've got the most beautiful face. Where does Moo Cow go? Where does Moo Cow go? So I made Abe and Romy. There, yeah, that's right. Can you pop it in, beautiful? Can you pop it in? I made Abe and Romy some peanut butter and raspberry cake this morning, just using PB2, because I knew that I wanted to have some. So I just made a big double batch. They had half of it to share, and I'm going to have the other half. So if you guys haven't checked out my chocolate cake, or my cake recipe in general, I think it's like, maybe did I make it last week? I did a video here on YouTube anyway, so feel free to go and check it out. But it's basically oats, chickpeas, bananas, and a few other little bits, and that turns into cake, and it's fluffy and delicious. Anyway, so I am starting with some chocolate cake this morning. I haven't eaten it yet, but what I really wanted to, you little cute bee, what I really wanted to do is, yesterday I made some rice pudding, and I toasted some desiccated, you doing boing little bunny. So I toasted some desiccated coconut and then I put some banana in there and I caramelized it in a pan. And that mixture was to die for. So basically I'm going to do the same mixture again and I'm going to put it on top of my chocolate cake. So it's kind of like what's a chocolate coconut combination? Is it Bounty? I don't really know. I've never eaten that stuff. As a lifelong vegan, I don't know these things. So anyway, so I am going to have that and I'll show you what it looks like really quickly. And then basically we are going to France tomorrow to go and visit my grandma and I'm really excited about it. We're leaving first thing in the morning. So today is the day for packing, clothes and everything. But most importantly to you guys, you want mummy to put it in. There you go, sweet. Come, mummy, pop it in. Most importantly to you guys, I'm going to be making loads of food. So I've been having a brainstorm as to what to bring with us. Obviously, I know a lot of people struggle when they go traveling, how they're going to eat this way, what kind of things are best to bring. Obviously, there's so many options of things you could bring with you that would be great for traveling. But one of my all-time favorite, and you guys will know this if you have been watching me since I went to India, but basically, sushi. Sushi, it sounds complicated. It actually... Does the chicken bounce? Yes, so sushi is one of my go-tos when I'm going out and about, purely because it doesn't require any Tupperware. I love you, chicken. So yeah, sushi is fantastic because it doesn't require any Tupperware. Now, when you're traveling light, by the end of my trip, I don't want to still have Tupperware with me. So I'm trying to think about stuff to bring that will leave me with no Tupperware at the end. So I'm going to make loads of sushi. So it's just me, Abe and Romy traveling. James is staying here for the week because he couldn't get the time off work, so that's fine. But basically, I'm going to make myself like 2 big fat sushi rolls and just wrap them up. I wish I had non-plastic stuff, but I'm going to wrap them up in cling film, one for Abe and then a little one for Rami. And that's what we're going to have on the train, because we're going to be going down to London to stay with my brother for a night first. And for breakfast, I was thinking, I don't want to take like a jar of overnight oats. And I was thinking about what to take, and I was thinking maybe I might just do some oaty breakfast bars. Usually that is loaded with, I don't know, sugar and oil and all those kinds of crazy things. But I'm going to do mine super low calorie density, fantastic for weight loss, whole food, plant-based. So I was thinking like oats. I've got some apples that need using, so I was going to make some apple sauce with some oats and some banana, and then kind of put that all together with, I haven't figured out what flavour I'm wanting yet. Maybe just like keeping it simple, like cinnamon, and then just baking that so it'll be a lovely kind of oaty vibe. Anyway, that's what I was thinking. But yes, that is my plan for travelling tomorrow. So super simple, won't leave me with much Tupperware, and I'm going to do it all prep today, and I'll keep us going, keep us nice and full. And I'll also might grab some fruit whilst we're travelling tomorrow as well. So that is my strategy for when we're travelling. If I was going for days, then obviously I have to rely on eating out at restaurants and finding good ways of doing that, obviously like I did in India. But this is just a short kind of half-day travel with my babies by myself, which scares the bejesus out of me. I haven't done a trip with them on the train, like a long trip with them on the train purely by myself. Obviously I know it's doable, but sometimes they both like freak out, or what if there's like a big poo explosion from both of them? I mean, you never know with these things. So anyway, I'm a little bit intrepid about tomorrow, but we will see. I'm going to be picked up by my brother, so at least that's something. But yes, so I did want to address a question that I got a while ago, which I think is such an important question, and it's about how I've lost weight and how breastfeeding has played a part in that. So it's a really valid question. I do get asked that all the time, and it's such a great point. You know, is my weight loss purely because I am breastfeeding Romy? Is that the reason for my weight loss? Obviously, I'm still feeding her a fair bit at the moment, even though she's over 1. I'd like to continue feeding her until she wants to stop. I think Abe stopped naturally about 1.5 or something, and then he just wasn't bothered anymore. So I would like to keep going. So what I want to say about that is, yes, when you're breastfeeding, that does burn calories through the day. So yes, you are able to eat more food. However, when you eat this way, the goal is to follow your natural body's hunger fullness cues. So if I wasn't breastfeeding, I might need to eat a little bit less, but I would still be the same amount of full because my body's just burning the calories whilst I'm feeding Romy. So I'm looking at how full I am after eating each meal. That's why counting calories is really pointless, because you have no idea how many calories you need every single day. Have you had an active day? Are you breastfeeding? Are you really tall? Like, there's so many different things that play the part as to how many calories your body will actually need every single day. So that's why that's not the focus of this way of eating. What is the focus, however, is eating whole plant foods that are low calorie density, that keep you full and satisfied, and you need to listen to your hunger fullness cues when you're doing that as well. So if I wasn't feeding Romy and I was eating the same amount as now, I would probably feel absolutely stuffed at every single meal because I wouldn't require that amount of calories. So I hope that makes sense. Equally, I have breastfed Abe when he was born, obviously, for 1.5 years, and I didn't lose barely any weight during that time. So I've been through the breastfeeding journey, and that does not always equate to weight loss for me. It is all about the food. It's the same way as saying exercise is what makes you lose weight. Now, exercise does burn more calories and it can be incorporated into your weight loss, but you don't just lose weight by exercising. You lose weight by the food choices that you make every single day. The food that you decide to put into your mouth has a much larger impact than how much exercise you do, because you know what, when you do exercise, your body knows that and it compensates by eating more food. I feel like Romy's talking with me, which is so cute. You're just going to eat more food naturally as a result of doing some exercise. So it's really just about the food and making sure you're eating low calorie density foods, whole food, plant-based, starches, legumes, fruits and vegetables, easy on the fats, and no oils and no processed stuff. Obviously, as most of you guys know anyway, but listen to your hunger fullness cues is so vital, because that is going to differ every single day, and there's no point in eating breakfast if you're not hungry. Don't eat massive portions if you're not hungry. If you are hungry, you can eat as much as your body needs to feel satisfied, not to overstuff yourself, but to feel satisfied. Absolutely. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. But yes, breastfeeding does burn more calories, but I'm also eating more to compensate for that, obviously, because I try and listen to my hunger fullness cues as best as possible. Anyway, so I hope that was helpful for all of the breastfeeding mamas out there who might find that interesting. If you're not breastfeeding and this is completely pointless conversation for you, I apologize, but it does apply for everything in terms of how much movement you get into the day, and just in general why counting calories can be so pointless, because it changes on a day-to-day basis. So listen to those hunger fullness cues, guys, as much as possible. I know it's easier said than done, so try and get into the habit of doing that. If you guys know, I used to do a lot more kind of chatting like this back before I went to India, and since then it's been really crazy. So feel free to head back there, and I do a lot of chatting about how I listen to my hunger fullness cues and stuff. But basically, if you want to know a little bit, I do have a fair few new people following me now. So hi guys. So anyway, so if you are struggling to listen to your hunger fullness cues, the best thing I can say is eat when you're hungry and stop when you're not hungry. Not necessarily when you're stuffed and when you're really full, but stop when you're not hungry anymore. So there's a few ways that I like to do that. So firstly, if I'm thinking about going to get some food, I'll ask myself, what am I hungry for? If I'm hungry, what is it, Papa? If I'm hungry for a bar of chocolate and nothing else, that's not really hunger, that's called me having a craving for a bar of chocolate. If I'm willing to eat some vegetables, if I'm hungry enough that, oh, you want that? Sorry, babes. If I'm hungry enough that fruits and veggies sound really delicious and tasty to me, then I am hungry. So do you know what I do? What I try to do is I start my meals with loads of non-starchy vegetables or fruits. And then when I am eating my meal, obviously, I like to eat the fruit and veggie part of it first to fill me up, super low calorie density. Then I like to move on to my starches. That's for the majority of meals. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that, and I don't always do my 50-50 plate, obviously. But yeah, so then when you move on to your starches, that's when I kind of take a little bit of a check-in with myself and just ask myself if I'm still enjoying my meal as much as I was before. When you start a meal and you're really hungry, you're like, oh yeah, my God, it's so delicious, so delicious. But sometimes 3/4 of the way through or something, that feeling goes. Yes, so sometimes 3/4 of the way through a meal, we're just eating it for the sake of eating it, just to finish our plates, and we're not actually truly hungry anymore. And one of the best ways that I have found to figure that out is asking myself if I'm still enjoying my meal as much as I was at the beginning. If the answer is yes, I find that means I'm still hungry. If the answer is no, and I'm kind of just like, it doesn't taste quite as good as it did before, that's a signal to me to say my body isn't actually needing it anymore, and I am not hungry anymore. So anyway, that's helpful. Anyway, I've done quite a lot of chatting, so therefore this is going to be a long video, and I apologize for the people who just came here to see some darn food. I am sorry. Sometimes I get a little bit chatty and a bit excited about these topics because I'm just really passionate about them, and I find them so fascinating as well. And also, this is the first day that I've had without an Abe here, who's constantly squeaking and who would not let me sit down and chat like this. That it's sometimes nice to sit down and just have a little, I feel like it's a conversation with you guys, even though unfortunately you can't talk back to me. But feel free to leave me some comments down below. I always do read my comments. I know I don't get back to you guys. I'm so sorry about that. But leave me some comments down below if there's any burning questions that you have about this way of eating, or any things that you'd like me to talk about. Then I'll try and talk about them in the next kind of video where I'm able to sit down and chat. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go and eat some cake. Let's go. Also, can you guys let me know if you like the chatty elements of my videos, or if you just rather me focus on the food? I'm really happy either way, but I'd love to make content that you guys find helpful and enjoyable to watch. So if you're not a fan of the chatty stuff, please let me know, and maybe I can make separate videos with my chatty stuff for the people who are interested. Anyway, let me know down below is my point. Okay, I'm super excited. My chocolate cake has all come together, and I swear this bit on the top is actually incredible. I had a little taste. Oh my God, it's really good, guys. You've got to try it. Okay, so this is my chocolate cake. Okay, it's just my regular chocolate cake, obviously, but they're very, very delicious. But this stuff on the top, I know it doesn't look like much, right? I know it looks like a pile of something. However, it is so incredibly flavorful and delicious, and it's just toasted desiccated coconut with a banana. I'm gonna go and eat this for breakfast. I know I was chatting about vegetables before, and I haven't included any vegetables in the breakfast time. However, I don't really have a lot of vegetables in. If I had loads of purple cabbage, oh my God, I would go to town on that purple cabbage, but we're looking very light in the fridge. I do have some salad, but I'm not in the mood for salad this morning, and I'm gonna have my salad for lunchtime. Anyway, I'm gonna go and chow down. I tell you, I had a little sneaky taste for Instagram. It's fluffing good. Right, so this is the chocolate cake, really nice, obviously, but the topping is so special. It's really yummy, guys. When you have no sweetener in your life, like for example, this has no dates, no maple, no brown sugar, no raisins, no nothing. It's just sweetener from the fruit itself, from a whole fruit, not a dried fruit. This bit at the top provides so much sweetness. It tastes like I'm eating a caramel. I mean, obviously my taste buds have adjusted to not having any sweetener, but honestly, I can tell you, it makes it so incredibly delicious and decadent. Romy and I have just been packing away, and I think I've got most things sorted, which feels amazing. Okay, now it's lunchtime. It's mainly because Romy was getting hungry, but I'm also a little snacky as well, so I've just pulled out basically everything from the fridge. The fridge is looking pretty naked right about now. There's some kale at the bottom, which I know James is going to want when he gets back, because he is addicted to kale, as I keep on saying. So I'll show you what I've got. I've got a really weird concoction, but that's okay. Food can be a weird concoction, and sometimes it's good to get okay with that. So I've got some leftover potatoes from, I think, the weekend, for maybe like Saturday. So I'm just going to grate them all up. Hash browns. Who doesn't love a hash brown? And with my hash browns, I've got some leftover, ooh, yes. I've got some leftover mayo. Oh, baby. I've got some leftover garlic mayo, which I'm going to pop on the top. And with that, I'm also going to be having some salad with a few little tomatoes and some beetroot that I baked up the other day. I was going to have this kabocha squash. I think it's a kabocha squash, not quite sure, but I cannot be bothered to cook it. So I might have that for dinner, and I don't even know what we're having for dinner. I think it might be, what the heck are we having for dinner? I did have on here sweet potato curry and mashed broccoli and gravy with parsnips, but we don't have any mushrooms for gravy, and I barely got any potatoes. So instead tonight, I always have, as a backup, as an emergency meal, I've got tins of chopped tomatoes and pasta. Super basic, but you know what? It is filling. You can add other stuff to it. I might need to go and buy some broccoli real quick. But that is going to be a fantastic meal for dinner. Super basic when I've got nothing else planned. So anyway, I'll show you what it looks like when I put all that food together. But that's my vague thought. Food on a plate and then in my face. Okay, lunch is served, and it is a gigantic platter of goodness. So I've got my hash browns here. I've got some garlic mayo there, big pile of hummus in the middle, and then loads of that full bag of salad. Like a quarter of a cucumber, 2 tomatoes, and a little beetroot. So let me just give you a proper lay of the land there. Absolutely gigantic plate of food, low calorie density. It's going to keep me so full. I'm going to be doing a lot of munching and crunching, which is fantastic. But anyway, this is an incredible weight loss, a platter and feast. Super filling. I've got my beans, got my carbs, got all my non-starchy veggies, and a little bit of mayo for fun. Anyway, I'm going to go and chow down. That was delicious. I ate every last drop. And Romy didn't eat all of her sweet potatoes, so I'm just eating a final little tiny bit. It's like a quarter of a sweet potato. I just put a little bit of cinnamon on there as well. And my husband James just got back from work. Yes, oh really? My husband James just got back from a meeting, and he picked up loads of white flesh sweet potatoes for me. I could kiss him. So I'm gonna do loads of those for tomorrow's trip as well. Okay, I'm feeling really snacky. So I just pulled out the leftover chickpea cookie dough things that I made yesterday. Yes, they have maple syrup in them, but they're very delicious. That's the problem of having stuff in your house. You're going to eat it. Anyway, Romy and I are just sharing a couple, and then I am done. Hello, hello. So it is, Jesus, it's 7 o'clock. And it was a crazy night because I took Abe swimming, and Romy and I were chilling in soft play. Came back, kids have had dinner, they've had a bath, I've had a bath, but haven't eaten anything, and I'm starting to get really, really hungry. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but basically, we've got no veggies in the house. Okay, it's looking really, really, I don't like peppers, otherwise I would eat the peppers. Tell you what I do have actually, hold on a minute. Oh, I don't know if I want these ones. They're non-organic carrots. I'm usually not a fan of non-organic carrots. I like them to be organic. Basically, it's slim pickings on the vegetable front. So let's figure out, oh, Romy. So I want to figure out what is the lowest calorie density stuff that I've got in my house and how can I incorporate it into my meal. So James was lovely and made some pastas. We've got some pasta here, and he made a lovely tomato and lentil sauce. So I would just have a humongous bowl of the tomato lentil sauce with some pasta in it, but there's not enough tomato lentil sauce unless I add some more tins of tomatoes. That is fantastic low calorie density stuff. There are no more tins of tomatoes. Okie dokie, back to the drawing board. Okay, I've decided to use some sad veg that probably needs using anyway. So there's this very, very, very old and sad looking cabbage, and I'm just going to use the non-organic carrots, but I'm going to peel them. So I'm just going to saute that with soy sauce and garlic as usual, and I'm just going to add that in with my big bowl of pasta. So that's my strategy to do the best I can. What I'm also going to do is I'm also going to eat a couple of apples. I've got some bad bits. Oh well. I'm going to eat a couple of apples whilst I'm making that stuff to reduce the calorie density and keep me full. So that's my strategy. When you've got barely anything in the house, you can still make it work. I also went hunting in the freezer, and I found loads of spinach and loads of sweet corn. So I've got like a half cup sweet corn and like 2 cups of spinach in there. I'm just going to saute this bad boy down. Dinner all served. Here's what I've got. I've got like 2 cupfuls of pasta, loads of sauce, and all of my good veggies. Fantastic bowl. I would definitely not have been satisfied with just the pasta part, so I'm really glad I managed to find those veggies and make that side work. Anyway, I've got cooked and call really soon, so I'm going to have to head. So I'm going to go and eat this as fast as humanly possible. Wasn't even hungry enough to eat it all. That's my leftovers. When I was eating this, I tried to prioritize eating the veggies first before, even though I kind of mixed everything together, I was taking the big chunks of veggies out. So a lot of the pasta's left over. But anyway, yeah, so feeling good. Okay, I made a massive concoction. This is just mashed bananas, oats, bit of soy milk, cinnamon, ginger powder, nutmeg, flax, baking powder. That's basically it. Anyway, it's a really big batch. There's like 3 or 4 cups of oats in here or something. Whack this in. This is gonna be breakfast, and maybe snacks and like other stuff, and then sweet potatoes. Yes, I think I've got this sorted, and I did it all in like 10 minutes, so I'm feeling very accomplished. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes packing the rest of the suitcase with all the other bits and clothes and stuff. Then I'm going to sit down and do some work. Yay, me. Feeling really accomplished. Sometimes a really overwhelming task can actually end up taking not very long. It's all in our minds. It's all in our minds. Anyway, I'm going to go. But yes, I am going to go now. I think that's everything for today. I'm not going to do any bouncing today because I've got too much other stuff on, but that's okay. Some days it doesn't work out like that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this crazy video. I will do my best to film while I'm in France. I have no idea whether I'll be able to post it or whether I'll even film stuff, but I'll do my best. Anyway, hopefully I will chat to you guys really soon, and wish me luck in France. Bye.